インウェブアウト留学センターの大西です。今回はハワイ大学カピオラニコミュニティカレッジの一般教養4年生大学Kaʻieʻeプログラムの専攻であるリボーアーツのカウンセラースティーブン・ハリスさんにカウンセラーとは何かをインタビューしていきたいと思います。
Hello. Hi Shuhei, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Yeah. Hey, long time no see. How are you?
I'm okay. Kind of tired today. How are you doing?
I'm good. First of all, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Stephen Harris. I'm a counselor at Kapiʻolani Community College in the Maida Kamber Center for Career Exploration and Graduation and Transfer, as well as in the Numidi Arts Program.
As I told you, like many students from Japan don't know the counselor or advisor. Are you the counselor or advisor? Gotcha, I don't know.
Many people at KCC don't even know that. Actually, I'm a counselor. So there's a big difference between counselors and advisors. And in the community colleges, the way that we're set up in the University of Hawaii system, most of the people who help with choosing classes and those kinds of things are actually counselors, just because at community college, we don't have the infrastructure to have extra support beyond the counselors. So if you go to one of the universities, they have all of these different places for extra support. They have the counseling center at Manoa with psychologists and a psychiatrist on staff. And there's depending on what your needs are, there's all these different kinds of places for getting extra help. But at the community colleges, we don't have as much of that. So they kind of designed the position this way. So I'm a counselor, which means that I do help students choosing classes. I help them choosing their major, figuring out what they want to do for a career. But I also help them with, study skills. I help them with, time management, financial planning, financial aid, personal issues, as it interferes with school. So it's very holistic. It covers everything. And my background's in counseling. I got a master's in counseling and guidance from UH Manoa. I actually I had the same education as a licensed mental health counselor. It's just that they have a different population and they have 3,000 hours of supervision, and then they have licensure. But as far as the exam is concerned, I was nationally certified until I let it lapse because I didn't want to pay for it anymore. But I passed the exam, so it's the same background. It's just that they work with a different population. And the role is different. I don't work in a therapy setting. I do get into personal counseling issues with students, but it's not for therapy. Once a student has graduated or moved on, or once they're doing well again, then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if they have mental health issues, they really need to meet with a mental health specialist, like a counselor or a therapist.
What are the academic counselors?
So the academic counselors at KCC are the counselors who work with programs. So there are CTE or Career Technical Education Program counselors, such as in the health sciences, nursing, hospitality, and culinary, as well as the business legal technology. And then there's the general counselors for basically everything else. So that's the Maida Kamber Center. So we're the liberal arts counselors. We help students with transferring with the ASNS, which is Associative Science and Natural Sciences, which is a transfer degree in the sciences, STEM majors. We help with Hawaiian studies and with new media arts. Basically all transfer, pretty much all transfer, most transfer.
Okay. Why do students have to meet up counselors, and what do you do for students?
Sure. It's very important that students meet with a counselor. at least once a semester, at the very least, because we can help them choose their classes and make sure that they're making progress, right? Especially international students, because international students, as you're well aware, have to be at school on an I-20 and only have a limited amount of time they can be in the program. If they're taking classes that they don't need, it can end up wasting time, and then they end up having to leave without graduating, or not being able to do OPT. So it's really important to meet with a counselor at least once per semester to just make sure that they're on task and making progress. In addition to that, we can help with lots of things like I was talking about in the very beginning. Let's see, we can help students with just help with figuring out the American education system. Some students don't know how to talk to their instructor, don't know if it's okay, what questions to ask. Certain things about understanding their syllabus or how to do their homework, it's just basic stuff, but it can go all the way up to really complicated things that are happening in the class that they might not know about, or about projects, or trying to understand what is this group dynamic that's going on in this class where they're one of only a few international students. That can be hard sometimes, just because it's a different culture, right? So we can kind of help them process through that. We can help them with personal issues. Sometimes international students will deal with not just at school, but on the personal side, some cultural misunderstanding, or just typical what we all go through, especially at that age, anxiety, depression, and other kinds of stuff. I was an international student myself in Japan, so I have some understanding of that. I've been working with international students for 20 years. And then, helping them get resources, in the community as well as at school. So it's good to have the counselor just as a connection to help them with the next, if they want to transfer, if they're thinking about what to do with, in their career, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, at least once a semester, but we can help much more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. How can students make an appointment with counselors?
Well, that has changed. So currently, because
coronavirus.
Yeah, because of the pandemic, we are not on campus. So we have a sign-in sheet, and we have students go to a link, and that link is up on our webpage. It's up when they email us, they get that as a response. It's up in various places. So they go to that link and they fill out a form, and then they end up signing into that. And then we see that, and then we generally can contact them within 24 hours. And what I'll do is I'll usually email them and ask them what they need help with. And if it's small, you can do it over email, or if not, we'll usually set up a Zoom appointment or phone appointment. If it's registration, it's almost always over Zoom. So we can share screens. Or if they're applying for Kaʻieʻie or, some deep conversation or something, it's usually over Zoom. And that's what we've been doing. When we go back, I'm not sure. There's this new thing in STAR now where students can apparently make appointments in STAR, but we haven't figured it out, and we honestly haven't really felt the need to figure it out because we're not back yet. So once we get back, we'll probably figure that out.
All right.
Yeah.
Could you please tell me about Kaʻieʻie Program? What is the difference between it and normal transfer to UH?
Sure. So the Kaʻieʻie program is a dual enrollment program. It's really helpful for international students for, a lot of reasons. So I'll tell you the benefits of Kaʻieʻie. It's nice to be in a pathway where they can have a target goal of UH Manoa while they're still at the community college. They can change their intended semester of transfer after they apply, or their intended major after they apply, but it helps them set a course, and we make a plan. As part of the application process, we make a plan. So their plan is there. And of course, it's tentative, it's going to change, but it's nice to have that plan there. Some other benefits, there's no application fee. The application fee to transfer is usually $70. So we waive that. There's no tuition deposit, which is usually $200, to hold their spot for registration. So they do away with that. You can take classes. Students can take classes at Manoa while they're still at the community college. One of the biggest benefits then for international students is, Manoa has an English placement requirement. So it's called ELI, it's called the English Language Institute. It's basically like our ESL classes at KCC.
Yeah.
Even if they've been taking several semesters of classes, unless they have 60 credits or their degree, they'll have to take the placement exam when they get there. And if they don't place high enough, they'll have to take more English classes. So once they get the 60 credits or they get their degree, they don't have to do that anymore. They waived it. But the nice thing about the Kaʻieʻie program is it lets them take those UH classes while they're still at KCC without having to take that placement test. So it works really well for certain majors, not so much for other majors. For example, hospitality. It works well with their travel industry management. They can start taking those TIM classes while they're still doing their general education or prerequisites at KCC. Or architecture. It's perfect for architecture because you got to do 4 years. So you don't want to waste time at the community college when you got to do 4 years of classes anyway. Other majors like business, it doesn't make any difference because they have to do their 60 credits at community college anyway. But it's still nice to be in the program because when they transfer, new students, so any student who applies a regular time or they do the auto admit, which is another free admission, but it's going the next semester, they register for classes late because incoming students and new students register for classes 4 to 6 weeks after the continuing students. But being in the Kaʻieʻie program, once they transfer, even though they're new, they're considered a continuing student. So they register at the same time as everybody else. So that gives them kind of a priority of registration with the other continuing students. So that's nice too. And then they have to meet with a counselor or either at the CC or an advisor at Manoa at least once a semester before they transfer. That's just making sure they're on making progress. And then we also will actively help them meet with their advisor at Manoa. So we do that anyway, but when the advisor knows that they're in the Kaʻieʻie program, they have a priority. So I know this student is coming, I have to set up because it's a mandated appointment. So they have to meet with them. So it's like this structured pathway that helps students kind of move to Manoa. Does that all make sense? Is that okay?
Yeah, but I think many students who are liberal arts major do not.
Some do, because they heard about it. A lot don't. That's why it's important that they meet with the counselor every semester, because when they meet with us, we'll tell them about it. Yeah.
Takashi told me that he doesn't know why, all, international students who are liberal arts major, are not entering the Kaʻieʻie program.
Well, it's not for everyone. Some students also aren't sure if they want to transfer. So especially lately, because not even pre-COVID too, because it's expensive. I mean, living in Hawaii is so expensive, and their parents want them to go home. So, they don't decide until later, or they decide they don't want to go, and they don't want to commit to something. They feel, even though it's free, a lot of, especially Japanese students feel like they feel kyotsukau, that they don't want to, make meiwaku kaketakunai. Yeah.
But, it's free, right? So
it's free.
The proper way, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Last question.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I would love to have your welcome message and comment to international students who are interested in KCC.
Okay. Welcome everyone to KCC. We look forward to meeting with you. we truly enjoy working with all students, but we really enjoy working with international students. We have the most international students of any of the community colleges in the UH system. And the reason for that is because we provide the most support. We have 6 well-trained counselors in the Maida Kamber Center who really enjoy working with international students. So we look forward to meeting with you.
All right, thank you very much. Do you have any comments as a counselor? Is there more information about counselor?
I just think that what I want students to know is that we're there for them. So anything they feel they need help with, that's why we have a job, right? I mean, personally, I genuinely enjoy working with international students. It's kind of my passion because I was an international student in Japan. I lived in Japan 6 years. I mean, it was a long time ago before a lot of our students these days were even born, which is really embarrassing. But so I know what it's like to live in a different country, and I understand the tremendous growth that happens, right? I know that you can relate to that, Shuhei. You know, you changed so much from the first time you came to KCC to when you left.
Yeah.
I mean, you just become more mature and you just begin to understand yourself in a completely different way because you're forced to see yourself from a completely different perspective than ever before. And it's really beneficial to everyone. Yeah, and I believe in that growth. I really believe in that. And so I just want to be a part of that. So I really, really enjoy working with students. It's just what I love to do.
All right. So thank you very much for...
You're very welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Take care, Shuhei.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Welcome. Bye.